Dusty, snap out of it.
Any of this look familiar?
Our constellation contact is on approach.
Yeah, but come on. Exploring space? Who does that anymore? Ain't the space we've already got complicated enough?
Welcome aboard the Starfield Report podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Starfield Report podcast. I am your host, Kenny Smyson, and with me, as always, is Jax. How you doing, Jax?
How's everyone doing today? Been a bit quiet this week, but I think we've got some gameplay to go over. Some UC questline to review. Kind of
Yep, a little
talk
bit
about
of UC questline stuff,
yeah.
and talk a little just general gameplay. Get into the let's see. We're going to be doing Friends Like These,
Mm-hmm.
Devils You Know, and War Relics. Those will be the three Vanguard quests we go through today.
Yep.
So, all right, let's see. I'm going to get into a little of my gameplay. I mainly focused on those quests this past week, but I did have a couple ships I finished. I did this ship we're seeing here is my I called it my Mark II on my barge, but technically it's the third version of it. Although it actually evolved quite a bit. I had a few different variations of it, but in this case, this one is 5 wide, and then the previous one was 4 wide. And the reason I went 5 wide is because I could have cargo on either side of the center tower down the line of the ship. So, yeah, and then I still have to make a video for this one, but it's my my freighter, and I had this was my grand finale of the ships for my space trucker. I had envisioned in my mind the idea of doing a ship that was like a freighter, like like modern day, contemporary setting, where you have the cockpit rising on the back, or not the bridge, and then you have all the cargo containers down the whole front of the ship, just like any freighter you see out on the oceans today. That was the general idea of this ship. But then, as I was building it, kind of thinking of like, what's the purpose of it? Like, what's he trying to accomplish? That's when I decided to put those huge fuel tanks down there, because originally it was going to be as tall as it is now, but the very bottom layer would have been where the habs are, and then just tons of cargo stacked on top of it. But then I just I evolved it to where it's like he's delivering, you need fuel, right, at a new settlement, and so he's delivering fuel for the settlement. That's what he's doing here, and so this ship has a ton of graphs habs, the custom 1x1s. So it's pretty neat how it came together, and yes. So I still prefer, as far as my Class C ships go, I still prefer my barge over this one. But it was still just a ton of fun to make this ship, and kind of finally, after planning for 2 years, build the ship that I always kind of envisioned, finishing up. So, oh, and then this awesome picture of the sunset with it at my my outpost.
Yeah, that's a good picture.
Yeah, this outpost here is on ETA Cassiopeia. There's a little island where you can get it's hard to nail it down, but you can get a coniferous coastline, and usually there's a pretty good distance between the foliage and the waterways, but I kept landing over and over. It took me 3 or 4 tries, but eventually I got it to where the tree line is like pretty close to the water, only about 100 yards or so. So just enough to make a little outpost on the beach. So, yeah. All right, and then we'll get into this in actually. Oh, this is the very start of the Friends Like These quest. Because the one gal has to talk to you privately, so she takes you up top. So, or no, this is when you become a UC citizen, actually.
Right. That's
Yeah.
I was trying to roll through all that. I was like, no, I think
Yeah.
that's an awesome view up there. That's like the highest point in all of New Atlantis, right? You look
Yeah.
out over
Mhm.
your whole kingdom.
Yeah.
Oh, look at all my kingdom here, and can be a part of it.
Yep. Yeah. You to
If
get
you-
here, you go up to um the headquarters, or I can't remember what it's called, but you
Council
go.
chamber.
Yeah, the count. You go into the council chamber, and there's and you turn around, and there's an elevator that you just hit, and I don't even think you have to be
Like a citizen.
a citizen to go up here. But from here, yeah, you can look down and you can see your ship when you get up to that narrow point. You look down, you can see the starport way down below.
Right.
It's fun to jump off this building, and you can land in the water down below. Careful with your
When you're up there, we
jetpack.
were
Yeah.
having a conversation about whether or not this entire thing is procedurally generated or is it like a fixed cell. I think from up here,
Yeah.
if you look down onto the starport and you look slightly over to the left as you're looking out,
Mm-hmm.
that's where that mesa is. And it's always in the same spot over there.
Oh, okay. I'll have to check that out. Yeah.
This cell, this particular cell, the city
Mm-hmm.
cell, is always the same.
Same for every player. Yeah.
For every player, yeah. But if you just land in a random spot, whoop,
Yeah.
I think that's when you would have the procedurally generated, landscape.
Okay. Good to know. Yeah. Yeah. So like Sidonia, New Atlantis, a lot of those
Right.
larger places, it's going to be the same for everybody. So
Right.
which is nice, because if you do want to make a mod in that cell, it would really suck if you want to put a mod on a certain hill,
Yep.
and then somebody else, every other player is not going to have that hill because it was procedurally generated just for you.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that'd make it difficult.
Yeah. And then this last picture was just from last night. I was out having some space combat in my new my Cyber Runner's new ship, and Lyria was determined to stand right in front of me in the middle of the dogfight. I couldn't see shit because like she's dead straight right in front of me. I took the picture with the angle there, but man, that was so annoying. So I had to do third person, and it seems to and this has happened more than once, and it seems to be when she's a follower of you, that's when she'll stand there when specifically when you fast travel to your cockpit, that's where she'll be. If you enter the ship, uh, then run upstairs to the cockpit, you're fine.
My ship does not have enough. The cockpit that I'm using doesn't have room in front of it for anybody to stand. It's the arrowhead shaped one that you come in from the bottom.
Oh, okay.
That's the not the tiki. You're a lot better at knowing all the names of stuff than me. I don't
Is it
remember
the Stroud
that stuff.
Eklund? Stroud Eklund one?
I don't know.
The tikis are all the ones where you go up vertically into it.
Okay, so the one in your first picture there is the Shroud Eklund one, and that's the big square blocky one.
Mm-hmm.
But one I've got is not that one. Well, let's see. Do I have a picture of it? Can you see it here? No, you can't see it in that picture.
Well, they have there's 6 Kontikis, 100 through 600. 100
Yeah.
Now 100 through 400 looks different than 500 and 600. Those right there you're looking at are the 600, which those are bigger, they're wider. But the Kontiki B 100 through 400 is narrower. It's only the width of a single hab, whereas those ones like overflow, so to speak, on either side.
Yeah.
And then the Stroud Eklund Viking's the one that you enter in just from the back, like most of the cockpits. Okay, so before we get into the quests, this is good timing because when you survive the attack on New Atlantis, but before you do the Friends Like These quest, this is when you become a United Colonies citizen, and
Right.
you have the option to purchase property. When you first start talking to Deputy McIntyre, oh, she sends you to the Alpheon Realty or something like that. You go talk
Yeah.
to the real estate agent, and she initially mentions a penthouse, but she's like, "Oh, UC has dibs on it or something like that." So that's a little foreshadowing of
Yeah.
things to come. But you can purchase an apartment in the well, and I'll have to get some screenshots and overlay it here later on, just so people can see it. But I love this apartment because it's in a place that and on my previous character, my combat medic, that was all UC. I never did bother buying this one. I remember seeing something about it, but then I just continued with the quest line, and then by the time you finish the quest line, well, you get the penthouse. So I never
Yeah.
thought about the apartment again. But
The
this, uh,
the only thing I did in the well was very early on when you're supposed to go do the blackouts in the well.
mhm,
Found the apartment, and it had a dead body in the apartment, and then
mm,
there was the robot dog that was in there, and that was
yeah,
just kind of an environmental flavor for the
yeah,
well. But
yeah,
that was kind of very early on in the game. You're like, ooh, that was dark.
yeah.
But that's about the only thing I ever did in the well. I mean, I didn't do the blackout stuff, but that's it. Run
There's
down there some stuff.
there's a few side quests down there. I recommend going down in there and doing because my cyber runner in particular, after she did all the side quests on Neon City, she made a beeline into the well because it's a very similar seedy kind of shady atmosphere. So she just spent
Hmm.
when she first got to New Atlanta, she went into the well and spent as much time as she could down there. And so a lot of good side quests that you can do down in there. But this apartment that you can buy is in a common place that it's up, it's set up higher, but it's in a common place that you actually will go, you'll pass by it quite a few times as you're navigating through the well. Um, when you walk in the door to it, um, there's a hallway to the right that would take you around it to another part of the well. But when you walk in the door, there's a staircase to the right that you can go up, um, and there's a small kind of bedroom area or small room upstairs. You can do whatever you want with it. And there's a dedicated bathroom with a toilet and a sink and everything. The little small room upstairs, of course, is just blank. Large living room area downstairs, and there's two windows on the walls, kind of 90 degrees from each other, and there's a lever next to the larger panel on the right, and you hit that lever, and there's these metal shades that open and close.
Okay.
I think the Vroon house in the Shattered Space DLC has the same thing, but it's
Yes, it
awesome.
does.
It's like that's like the perfect thing for like a kind of assassin or bounty hunter, or you're wanting to make sure you can shut your windows and people can't peep in, right?
Right.
Um, so then there's a door there, though. You go out the door and you have your own little balcony, so it's great. It's almost like if you're that kind of character, you're gonna want two ways in and out of your house at least, right? So you don't get stuck if you need to make a run for it.
Yeah.
Um, and you can decorate on the balcony. It looked like I didn't actually place anything out there, but when I was in decorate mode, I put my what's that one? The crafting, the recipe one, the mod. What's that one called? Where you make all the really cool food that gives you like big XP boosts and stuff.
Galactic Harvest.
Yeah, Galactic Harvest.
Sweet Pea. That was by
Yeah,
no, that was by Girl, right?
yeah, it wasn't Sweet Pea's mod,
Yeah.
but yeah. So that's the only thing I put in there so far. But it looked like you could actually decorate on the balcony, and I think in fact from that balcony, that's where you can go left and jump on some pipes and jump up into this vent and go down into a little area where there's some stolen stuff, a little cache, and I think there's like a notepad from whoever was leaving that stolen stuff stashed there. It's a what's the weapon called? The arc welder thing that
Okay.
shoots the electricity. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that thing respawns because I'm pretty sure I'd already been there once earlier on in this character when I was in the well. So now that I'm back there, having bought my house, I went in there and the thing was there again. So I think that weapon might respawn it periodically.
Okay.
So yeah, that's all there is to that. Just a simple little house, dwelling, and if I remember, it was reasonably priced. So
Yeah. Because you're a citizen now, but you're not a hero yet.
exactly, yeah, yep. You're allowed to buy stuff, buy property, but they're just not going to give it to you right now.
Yeah.
All right, so our first mission is Friends Like These. Now, this is hot on the heels of the Terramorph attack on New Atlantis, and so you need to go get the permission from all three factions to enter the archives where a lot of the advanced weaponry, related to mechs and xeno warfare is housed. And so you've already got permission from the United Colonies. You now need to get it from the Freestar Collective as well as House Faroon. So you do both of those in this quest, and you don't get to choose which one to do. It forces you to do the Freestar one.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, this quest is so much fun and has a lot of replay value. At least as far as the Freestar Collective part goes, because there's multiple ways to complete this quest, depending on how you handle it. So, Jax, let's go ahead and have you describe how you completed this quest first. And then I'll talk about how I did mine, and then we'll cover the other options that you could have had. And
Okay.
it's pretty well to get there. First, McIntyre takes you. I think this quest starts off with you becoming a United Colonies citizen, right? Yeah, because
Yep.
you're talking to Deputy McIntyre, and like in the intro, that's where you're up at the top of the tower, like that one picture excuse
Yep.
me, I already showed. But then she tells you to go to the both these embassies are right there in New Atlantis, and you've got the Freestar Collective, and then to the left of that is the House Faroon, and to the right of that is the Archives. But you go straight there. There's no. I did check because my Cyber Runner, the whole stealthy character, I checked to see if there's another entrance into it. I couldn't find one, and so you just have to go in the elevator, and once you're inside, do what you got to do. So go ahead and take it away.
I go in, and as soon as you go in to talk to McIntyre, the first scene is you go in and she is like dressing down her subordinate there.
Mhm.
And it's like, oh my gosh, she's upset about something. And he goes and walks off, and you talk to her, and she's immediately like, oh, I heard you're the guy that, saved the spaceport, congratulations. And then she said, wants to know what you're doing there. And you tell her, and she's like, no, we're not having none of that. Not going to do it. And that's when you have the option to try to do a couple of different things. And I picked the option of I'll return later. So I walk out and I go talk to the guy that's just been reprimanded.
Mm-hmm.
Start chatting him up and telling him hey, the Vanguard's been keeping an eye on you. I think the Freestar, I think the UC could use you, a good agent like you. We would love to put you right on the payroll, I mean, but first we're going to need a little, kind of help us out a little bit. And so there's a chat back and forth as to what he wants you to do, what you want him to do. And at first he's reluctant, but then you're like, oh no, I've already got permission to put you directly to work. We're going to get you right on the payroll. None of this is true. It says right on it. Lie to him. Lie straight to his face and tell him that you're going to make him an employee. Oh yeah, you're great. Yes, I mean, just like a army recruiter. Oh, we got you covered, buddy. Actually, I think when you first talk to him, that's when he says, "Follow me downstairs," and he takes you into his room where y'all got some privacy, and that's when this whole conversation happens. And he says, "There's a vent you can get into in upstairs in the conference room, I think it is, and but don't get caught by a guard, because if you're in there and you open the door and you get caught by a guard going in, That's going to set off the alarm. So here's the key to get in there. Be sneaky doing it. So you go upstairs, you go into the conference room, you wait for the guard to kind of walk out of sight. The key, open the vent, go into the vent, and you can make your way to Ratcliffe's office.
Oh, it's her. Yeah, her private quarters, which is right behind her office.
Right, and inside the private quarters is there's a big planter, and if you go over, there's like a little icon saying "Go check here," and somehow the UC has put a recording device in there. So now you have a private conversation that she's been having, and she's talking about some underhanded political dealings. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's the dirt on her.
Yeah. Well, she's trying to get out of New Atlanta. She hates being there, and she wants because she wants to be on the council. Remember how Freestar Collective's government is? There's the council. Like the leader of the Rangers is one of the council members. Ron Hope is another one.
Right.
She wants to be on the council. That's what she's coming for.
Gotcha. So now you've got the dirt on her, and you can go back to her, say, "Hey, we gonna make a deal?" And she says no, and you say, I've got a problem with that, and I've got some. Maybe you want to reconsider." And I can't remember if you play the tape or not, but you blackmail the hell out of her.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you hear the audio of it, but it's presented that you basically show her the blackmail evidence, and she's like, "All right."
Yeah, and then she kind of acquiesces, and then at that point, you can nudge her a little more, and she'll give you a named gun called the Diplomat or the Ambassador.
The Ambassador.
Ambassador, yeah, okay. And so then she says, "Do we have a deal?" And you can nudge her again, and you can get blackmail payment from her. So I love that part. I love if you're getting in for a penny, in for a pound. I want it all.
Go for broke.
Be the jerk and blackmail her. I mean, I want her whole purse.
Yeah.
So yeah, got all of that, and then she takes you down into the basement and does the thing and gives you the code. So that was the way I did it. And then I broke my save, and I had to go through to do it again. And the second time I did it, I just did it the simple persuasion way. So how did you go about it?
So I went in, I talked to her. She was like, no, and I did the same option. I'll talk to you later. However, I did not go speak to the one guy, because she's wants to be more resourceful and figure things out herself and not necessarily get help. And so what I did was I just kind of snuck around. I did get caught one time downstairs in a ridiculous way where like the guy wasn't there and then suddenly he was. So I don't know if the game just had like a lag and suddenly the guy was there, but there's
Popped him in.
Yeah. There's two different vents you can get. Well, there's a vent upstairs and there's two on the main level. There's upstairs, mid-level, and downstairs. So one of the vents in the main level eventually can get you downstairs, one can get you upstairs. Now if you go upstairs through the vent, there's like a crew quarter kind of area. I don't think there's anything useful in there. Yeah, and
if you walk upstairs and a guard catches you just walking up the stairs, he's like, "Hey, you're not supposed to be here. You need to leave."
Yeah, and typically you'll get at least one warning before like things go bad. So at least you have that, unless you're completely caught in a bad area, So if you're kind of there's like a gray area, like the stairs, and I think is the gray area. If you're caught on the stairs, they're going to tell you to bounce. But so I went. I cleaned out all the loot. There's some weapons and stuff upstairs, and then I went into the conference room, into the closet. Now, because I didn't talk to the one guy, I didn't know exactly how his whole little pathway ends, but it actually converges right here, because the only difference is, in your case, he gives you the key to get into the closet, but I had to pick the lock. So that's the only real difference there. But when I picked the lock, you go up into the ceiling. When you drop down into her quarters, there's the bush with the listening device, and which I got. So from that point forward, you and I, our paths aligned, and we were on the same track. I did it. I probably spent a good 30 minutes trying to follow her to see if she has a pathway. She walks around her office a lot, but that's it. And I was able to crouch and try. I didn't actively try to pickpocket her because when you leave her private quarters into her office, you open the door. Her desk is slightly to the right in front of you, and she's faced away from you because the door from the lobby into her office is directly in front of you. So if somebody's coming into the office, they're going to walk straight at you because you're in her quarters, right? Her guard, though, is to her right, so also to your right if you're behind her. And there's and she's sitting in her chair, and her guard's there facing you, and never ever turns her back. So
Almost expected you to do that.
So yeah, so I did pickpocket to just view her inventory, and she's got the key on her. But there never seems to be an instance where you could pickpocket her because her guard is always looking straight at her, 100% of the time, unless maybe I didn't wait an extra 5 minutes. But after waiting 30 minutes, just watching them, because I was crouched with my chameleon on, just kind of watching them, and she'll get up and move around a little bit, but the guard always, you're not going to pull it off unless, I don't know, maybe if you have some of your skills maxed out, you could pickpocket somebody right in front of somebody else, maybe, I don't know. So but yeah, the key's on her, and so, and at that point, everything proceeded just like normal. I went up through her quarters, back down, so walked in through her office front door, blackmailed her, did just like you, got the gun, got the extra money. But then I ended it with yeah, we're just friends. Because, my character's whole mindset is to treat everything of every situation, try to set myself up to get more stuff later. And so there's no point in burning this bridge. Yeah, you're going to push and nudge, but hey, who knows? Maybe she does get on the council. It'd be great to have somebody on the council that I have a connection with now.
And you got the blackmail too.
Exactly. And so at that point, you can go to the archives, but let's sit here for just a minute, because so my combat medic, he was all UC Vanguard, United Colony citizen, hoorah, right? So he was all, that's how my combat medic plays the game, or lives his life. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, he looks like Amos from The Expanse, but he wears the cowboy hat. He's a kind of a cowboy-like kind of character. Anyways, he went in and he was able to persuade her, because by the time I got to the Vanguard quest on him, he was probably close to level 60, because I wanted to have a level 60 ship on the Vanguard quest line, or at least close to it, because that's the highest level unlocks for your ship parts, for your grav drives and reactors in particular. And so, and because of how his character is built, he's more diplomatic, but also intimidate. He did a lot of the speech stuff, so he could talk his way through a lot of situations. And I'm pretty sure he persuaded her successfully in that initial conversation. So that was basically how he was able to fast track, through this and get in and out of the embassy. So let's go through it. You can persuade. You can talk to the one guy to get information, which just leads you to. He gives you a key to get through the closet, but all the locks in this place, I don't think. I think at most we're advanced, maybe expert, but I don't think any were master. Then you can just straight up sneak around yourself, which kind of becomes the same resolution as the one where you talk to the guy.
Right.
And then what would you say, like, another option would have been?
I guess there's not a way, unless
Pickpocket.
if you could get her to talk to you by herself, then maybe you could get around behind her and go into your crouch and pickpocket her in that one instance where she hasn't turned around to face you, you might be able to get her. You might be able to get away with that.
Yeah.
Because there's an instance where she wants to go and talk to you in like the break room or somewhere. Doesn't she go off somewhere else?
Not that I remember.
Okay, no, I was thinking it was before, like right after she talks with dresses down the one guy, but then before you.
Yeah, I can't quite recall, but
Okay.
that's one of my nitpick complaints about Starfield compared to the other games, especially in the Elder Scrolls games. The NPCs, like the shop owners in particular, they all have a schedule they follow.
Yeah.
So when business hours close, they go home, or if their shop is if they or they might just mill around. They might go up to um, uh, the
Or
tavern or up into what's the one Nazim? What's the in Whiterun? He's always snobby, telling you about the district he goes to all the time. Anyways, um, but in Starfield, none of the NPCs, the shop owners, they all, man, they must be on some kind of drugs because they're 24/7, and they all have almost all have a chair right there next to their shop, or you think you could just sit there and wait until the business hours open, so to speak.
Right.
So, or I mean, considering it's Starfield and technology, why didn't they have they should have a kiosk, so when they leave for the night, there's a kiosk there you can still interact with to buy and sell. So then you don't have to wait or anything, right?
Yeah.
Hey everybody, my apologies, but we had a bit of a technical glitch. I was muted as we started talking about the House of Rune part of the quest, so we're going to pick up mid-sentence when I'm talking about that. Enjoy the show.
But you're railroaded through this. You can't, I mean, although it's easy to get turned around on accident because it's kind of dark and stuff, but there's a ton. So as you go in the place, it's in disarray. There's nobody there. There's signs of life that they said they've discovered or they have observed with sensors that are detecting. Yeah, there's a lot of fauna, plants and whatnot in there.
Yeah.
You make your way through it. There's just a ton of robots that you're going to be killing. So bring in one of a weapon that has the 30% extra damage to robots. Right. I think technician. I think was what that trait is called on the effect. Well, there are some like speakers you come or intercoms you come across periodically where it's like a staticky message you're hearing from the guy. And I think you have to engage or disengage something, but eventually you kill through all the robots. You catch up to him, the ambassador here, and he all you have to do is kind of just talk to him. It wasn't even that challenging. You just tell him what you're doing, and he's willing to give the codes because he was aware of the terramorph attack.
He had no idea how bad it was.
Yeah.
If everybody decimated, he was concerned that are we the only ones left alive here?
Yeah.
Because he knows what happened in Londinium, the history there of the terramorph attack on that city, and it completely wiped the entire city out.
Yeah.
So, he's like, oh, a terramorph attack, it's probably destroyed at least half the city,
Yeah. Yeah.
But you inform him that it was just the starbase, what do they call it? It's not starbase. It's
the spaceport.
Spaceport, that's it. Yeah, just the spaceport, and you are able to contain the attack there.
Yep.
You get it under control, so all the citizens are fine. And yeah, he's pretty much straight up. Okay, well, he does want to promise. He wants you to promise him that you will only be using this information for good.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got some moral issues in the answer there. You can say yes, or you can say, I can't really promise that, but I'll bring it up to my boss. And I'm not sure if there's an answer of, no, I'm not going to do that at all.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's just delaying the inevitable. You're going to tell him, yeah, well, sure, whatever.
Yep.
and then he gives it to you. I think there's some nice goodies around in here. If you look around, you can pick up some nice stuff.
Yeah, he does have one of those like the smaller version of the boss chest that has like the gray side with the yellow. I looked into it, but I ended up not taking anything, even though my character is a kind of a thief, scoundrel character. For some reason, I don't know, I just kind of follow whatever little conscience that she has sometimes, and she just is like, man, this guy's kind of living in a dump, and she's like, I don't want to steal from this guy. A bit of a Robin Hood streak to her, I suppose. Oh, but she cleaned out the Freestar place.
Yeah.
I did come up with, even though this doesn't technically matter mechanically speaking, but I did come up with this thing with her is that she's not going to steal stuff that's sitting out in the open, because
It's there.
like she doesn't want people to see stolen stuff, but she'll take stuff out of safes and lockers and stuff like that, where it'd be obvious that, or it wouldn't be as obvious that somebody came through stealing stuff, So
Right.
and then from once you get the key information from him, and now you've got the United Colonies, the Freestar Collective, and the House Faroon. You go to the archives building, and this part's pretty straightforward. You go downstairs into this lobby area where there's 3 different consoles. You got to go up to each to put your little card thing in there to open the door. The main person talking to you is the United Colonies technician. And they each have their own little private room behind glass. The House Faroon one is unoccupied, but you put in your different codes there, and then the final door unlocks where you can go into the archives. And then they make a point to tell you you're only allowed to get the information from this one server. It's a bunch of computer servers in this room, and I was hoping there got to be something else you can do in there, but nope, not at all.
It almost looks like a post office mailbox room.
Yeah,
where it's got all these little cubbies, side by side, and so you can only go to that one.
Yep.
And sure enough, you can only go to that one.
Yeah, it would have been nice if there was one in there where you could have stolen something, and I don't know how they would have mechanically done it, but I mean, I guess like maybe have it be something where it's data that you could give to the Crimson Fleet, because at that point you're in a very neutral place. It doesn't make sense to get data out of there for any one of the other 3 main factions, because they're all there, so. But
yeah, you have some Gal Bank codes or something.
Yeah,
and you either get caught, and that's going to start you on the Crimson Fleet quest, or you don't get caught.
Yeah,
and that sends you on the other side of the Starfleet of the Crimson Fleet quest.
Now, I have not done the Ryusian quest line yet, of course, but it would make sense that there could have been because this is a cool setting, right? And to you only ever go into the archives one time for this one mission. There should have been something else there. They should have been able to. Yeah, I mean, imagine if there was a Ryusian quest where you're supposed to get something from the archives, and heck, maybe that could be like a big finale for a Ryusian quest line, where you have to go steal those 3 codes. So
but we don't know, because we haven't played the Ryusian quest line.
Yeah, true, huh? So
some of us don't know.
Some of us don't know things, because we haven't done the Ryusian quest line. So, all right, so that wraps up Friends Like These. So next up is Devils You May Know. So as soon as you get back to Deputy McIntyre with the information for the Xeno warfare, the terramorph data, she's like, "Oh, there's somebody that wants to talk to you," and you're like, "Who wants to talk to you?" You're like, "Oh, well, I can't really say. You just have to go talk to him." So she sends you to
7 or something like that.
Yeah, subsection 7. So it's the elevator, same elevator that you use for the mass building with all the different levels. Now it adds another level that you get to go to. And you go down there and make your way in. Now I had Lyria following me, but there's that one door, the big main door, that before you go down that long corridor, she waited out there for me. So your follower's gonna wait right there.
That's the same thing happened to me the very first time I played through this.
Okay.
I don't know that I've played with a follower since, but
Yeah.
I usually have a follower, but sometimes I'm like, hey, while I'm doing some things, I'm like, you just stay on the ship. You just stay here. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Yep. And so at this point, you come out onto this, you go down the long corridor, and you're on a landing. You're looking down, and there's these two huge glass cells, but they do have a door that kind of goes between the two of them. There's a desk right there with a little intercom, and there's a guy standing in there. And you start talking to him.
Yeah, you can walk up to the glass before you sit down and look in there, and you can tell that it's like a whole full-on apartment in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, he's obviously locked in there either to protect him or to protect you. You don't know which yet, but he's definitely segregated. But he's not living, in a cement 8x8 gel cell. So must be somebody.
Pretty comfortable living.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then you start talking to him, and up to this point in the game, if you've been kind of paying attention to the lore, there was the Colony War, and one of the United Colonies generals, known as Vae Victus, that was his nickname, was responsible for kind of helping win the war. Especially when the Terramorph outbreak happened on Londinian. I think he destroyed Londinian to save everybody in a way, But this is Vae Victus in the cell here, and he was supposedly executed for war crimes. But some certain
there was an outbreak, and in order to keep the Terramorphs from spreading through the entire not Freestar, but the entire galaxy
systems.
Right. We need to destroy this whole place. It's like if a plague broke out in your city and they condemned the entire city and then bombed it. So that's basically what he did. He closed down the spaceport, didn't let anybody leave, and then his own troops were down there, private citizens were down there, and he just mercilessly dropped bombs on the whole city and destroyed the whole place to keep any possibility of Terramorphs ever escaping it.
Yeah.
That seems pretty extreme, but also if you're looking at, the few versus the many, and sometimes that's a hard call in war that you've got to go, well, I'm going to have to sacrifice some of these troops in order for my entire army to survive this battle. Sometimes you got to do that. And so it's kind of it's very gray area. And right now you don't really know. So you're going to talk to him, and it turns out he is Vae Victus, the admiral. You've already been told he was dead. War crimes, right? They found him guilty, and they sentenced him to death, and he's been dead for years and years and years. Except here he is.
Yep.
Big reveal.
Because there's even some side quests where they talk about him, and there's one particular side quest where, at the den in the Wolf system, the space station that has it's one of the best place in the game, vanilla at least, to go sell contraband, because you're not scanned in the system. When you dock at the station, there's a trade authority guy who they buy contraband and stolen items. The bartender there wants you, as a side quest, to go put posters of Vae Victus around inside the well at New Atlantis. And so just a little side quest. You just run up to the wall, and I think
I've never done that one.
Yeah, there's just 3. I think he gives you 3 posters to put up on the walls. So something to do where get the quest from him whenever you get around to it. If you happen to be in the well, run around, put them up. You're good. Head back.
Right.
And then so
what would be kind of a nice quality of life for them, because when you start the game, you've got no quests, right?
Yeah.
Within 5 or 6 hours of playing, you've got 10 or 20 quests, and they can be spread out all over the galaxy. What would be nice is when you land in a new location, if it would give you a pop-up that said, dum, 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 these quests are available at this location.
I mean,
I'll forget about it.
yeah. I
I was
yes
supposed
and
to be
no.
dropped here, and you just forget. I was supposed to give some bunch of cargo, or I was supposed to go put these posters up over here.
Or are you talking about like quests that you already have active that it pops those up there, or just
Right.
all the quests available in the area, even if you haven't even initiated it?
Just the ones that,
Okay.
that you've already got active. If you look at your quest log, and it says you've got these activities that you can do here, or you've got these quests for what do you got? Activities, main,
Yeah.
faction, and I don't know. There's
Well,
another one or
you
two.
do know there's a setting in your quests that you can toggle on and off where it only shows a marker for your active quest, but if you hit the setting, it shows markers for all your quests. So if you are in an area,
I guess there is a switch for that.
Yeah, there's a switch for that. No mod
You're like,
needed.
right?
It can be annoying though. Sometimes though, because you'll just have a bunch of little aqua colored hexagons all over your screen.
I'm gonna play with that a little bit because it might be kind of nice to land somewhere, step out of your ship, put your scanner on, and then just go over all the different ones and go, oh yeah, I wanted to do that.
Yeah.
And then you can flip the switch off and go do your main quest, whatever you're doing. But that way it gives you, I'm going to have to play with that a little bit because I didn't realize that. I probably knew it at one point and then didn't ever use it.
Yep.
So I didn't know it anymore. It's kind of like trigonometry. I used to know it, didn't use it, so I don't know it anymore.
Don't know no more. So as you're talking to Vevictus, you can have a good lengthy conversation with them. There's a lot of dialogue options just to learn more about everything going on. But in the interest of keeping this brief, I mean, you can talk to him about his decisions and why he did what he did with which caused him to be a war criminal. You can talk to him about Hadron, who's his clone / daughter. Get information there. But then what he wants from you, the whole reason he's summoned you, is to help you with this terrormorph threat, because even though he's in this jail cell, he's got connections and he's a resource of information for the select few, like Deputy McIntyre, that know he's alive. And so he knows about this Dr. Orlace, I think is the name, one of his associates from back in the wartime. And
that may become very important later on when we get to some after the entire quest line and we get to the mod.
Yeah.
Lazarus Awakens.
Okay, yeah, so
his name will become very important in that mod. So
okay.
We'll leave it at that, but that's you got to go talk to Orlace.
Yeah, so you have to go find him, and he's somewhere in. Oh, speaking of which, he's somewhere in the Wolf system. So you have to go to, I think, you go to the den. You talk to that bartender.
No, you talk to the UC Vanguard pilot.
Oh, it's the Vanguard pilot. Okay.
And she's one that I wish that they would have made her hireable.
Okay.
She seems like she's pretty quick, and if they added a little bit of personality, a few lines to her, I think she would make a good companion.
Okay, good to know. I mean, I'll have to keep an eye out for, because there was a mod that was turning NPCs. I can't remember what it's called, but some of the known NPCs making them followers or crew members.
Okay.
So, but yeah, she tells you that there's the reports of the ship in the area. So you hop in your ship and fly out, and you got to be careful because you pop out into a minefield. Yep. So in the minefield, you can shoot the mines from a safe distance, but the guy approaches you and just starts unloading on you, and he basically is turned into a pirate. He's going after ships and just to survive. He's piracy, attacking ships, stealing stuff. So when you get on board his ship, I don't know if you can even destroy the ship. I didn't even try.
They call him the Warlock, and so he's got a reputation in the sector. with the UC Vanguard, and yeah. So then you go and you track down the Warlock ship. You jump into a what's it called? An asteroid field that's mined.
Mhm.
I didn't even realize it was mined this last time I played, because I guess I just got lucky and landed it.
Never set
And
any of the mines off.
nope, I just
Nope. Yeah, you
beelined
got
it
lucky
straight
then.
to the ship.
On my first
And
playthrough, I set some off and took some damage. But so this one I remembered that. So as soon as I saw the mines, I started shooting them. But when you dock with the ship, I don't think you can even avoid it, because you hear him over the intercom as you're making your way to the cockpit, and it's a small ship. I love the hab though. I wish every unique hab like these in the game you could somehow acquire. Just
it
because
wouldn't be that. Just every ship should have a computer terminal that's available, and it would be a simple quality of life mod that adds, you know, download schematics for this ship. Boop.
yeah, or I mean
And
just
that would unlock it in your builder.
yeah, and then just unlock like under the habs there should be, it's listed by brand, right, and size. There should be one where it's one category where it's just all the unique habs.
Uniques. Yeah.
Just unique habs, and then Orlaze's ship hab, because it was kind of a cluttered hab, but it had like a lot of weapons and stuff, lots of loot in here. But the guy kills himself, and there's nothing you can do about it. And but the ship, I think, like if I remember right, I think it recognizes that the pilot's vitals are failing, and so it unlocks the cockpit automatically at that point.
Yes.
And then you go in there and be sure to loot everything, but you get some kind of information off of him. I can't remember. It was something that Vivictus needed, but make sure to take this guy's lab coat. And I don't know if he had it on him or if it was in his locker. I think it's called Orlace's lab coat or something like that. But it has a lot of the lab coats have that 5% reduction in materials when you're doing research. His is a chance to make weapon mods without using up your resources. So when you go into modification mode, throw this lab coat on, and there's a chance you might not use up some of your resources when you're making modifying your weapons.
Right.
And then so you get back to Vivictus and provide the information there for him. And I think it was the location of what you need for the next quest, War Relics. I think that's what it was.
Okay.
If I remember right. So a pretty straightforward quest here. Not a lot of wiggle room on how you complete it, but still a lot of good information. Kind of a good little plot twist to discover that Vivictus is still alive.
The ship is inaccessible, by the way.
Yeah.
You can't.
Oh
take the ship.
yeah, you can't take the guy's ship, unfortunately.
Which is a shame. Also, one of those things where you're like, man.
Yeah. All right, and so finally we are on War Relics, where Vivictus is telling you about another member of Hadrian's team from the Xeno Warfare team back in the Colonies Wars, and this is it's a robot named Kaiser, and I can't remember how. Does he straight up tell you to go to that planet, or do you go somewhere else first? It's the planet.
No.
It's the planet Nira.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he just gives you the location and says no. As in, he tells you. I think he tells you about it, but then on the interim, you end up talking with
Hadrian.
With Hadrian, yeah.
Hadrian takes you there. Yeah, I was just looking it up. So Hadrian tells you to go to Nira.
Yeah, he gives you the location, but says that you're going to need to go talk to Hadrian for some information.
Yeah.
In order to, you're going to need Hadrian to give you some information to make it
viable. Because there's verbal codes that you need to give Kaiser.
Right. And that's when Kaiser's a robot. And you're just thinking it's a dude. You're going to go pick up another team member. And she's like, oh, no, he's like a modified combat robot that we've, added this database, and so yeah, but he's not going to let you just talk to him. So you're going to need the secret cut password.
Yep.
Talk to him and override what's going on. So you know where he is. Now you know how to talk to him, and then you can go find him. So yeah, you get there, and there's one of a kind spaceships. I think is the place you're going.
One of a kind salvage.
Salvage, one of a kind.
They basically have built this building with this shop right next to a graveyard, boneyard, which was a battleground. There's a number of destroyed ships that are crashed there, as well as mechs.
Yeah.
And so first you go in, and the atmosphere of this planet hurts you. And so I didn't want to take any unnecessary time there. You start getting that yellow dent in your health bar.
Okay.
So I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time here. And so plus I was in a bit of a rush the night playing. So I kind of did a lot of the faster options you can do through here. But when you first go talk to the main guy, he tells you that, the robot's out there. You can either pay him $1,000 to tell you exactly where he is, or you can just stumble around and eventually find him. And so I just paid the $1,000 because as you go out into this boneyard of sorts, there's a lot of these creatures called sirens. That's what they're called, right?
Yes.
Siren. And they're
Yes,
they're tough, but they're not impossible. I mean, and you can jump and get up on stuff and shoot down at them, and take him out that way. But the Kaiser is in a ship called the Syracuse, and when you go in the ship, you find him standing there, and it was a little confusing at first for me on the first time I played through, because he just kind of is talking in broken sentences. You're trying to make sense of it. I think I might have actually had to look it up. I'm like, what the heck? What's going on? But he will say at one point, and so if you're paying attention, he's got heat leeches on him, and there's 3 of them. You need to shoot those, and then he'll be able to talk to you a little bit more.
They're pulling the energy out of his battery. The heat leeches are electrical. Yeah, they absorb electricity energy.
Yeah, hence the term heat leech, right?
Yeah.
So once you get those off, he tells you need to make a micro cell, which is like a battery, or he needs a new one. So you go back to the one guy to talk to him about it. Well, you've got at this point 2 options. You can buy one off of him, which in my case at level 36 it cost just over 9,000. You said it would have cost 12, and you were level like 200 something.
Yeah, level 211, 219, something like that. This is one of my original characters, and it was way more expensive. And I was like, no, pound sand, I'll just make one.
Yeah. But
so I took the whole way around.
But at that point, unless you're beelining straight to the UC Vanguard quest line, the 9 or 12,000 credits it costs is not a whole lot of money by the time if you get to this quest later on. I mean, because in this case, I was sitting on 600,000 credits because I had not quite gotten around to building a new ship yet, so I still had a ton of money. But if you choose the buy it option, he just gives it to you. You run back to Kaiser and install it. But now you went around to build it yourself. Isn't there 3 different parts you need?
Yes, there's 3 parts. So you went the pay to play route, right?
Yep, pay to play.
I went the long way. So I showed up, I talked to this guy, and he's wanting to extort money from me right off the bat. I'm like, nope, I'll find him out there myself. And I looked through the guy's salesman inventory for his shop, and he sells a guide to the salvage in the area. And it's like 400 versus the battery is a lot of money. The location is a lot of money. And I have a couple million credits at this point, but I'm stingy. My guy does not like to get, and I don't know what it is, squeaky, But so I bought the guide, and then I leave his place, and I start killing all of the sirens. And as I'm making my way around, it gives you the little locator dot, and so You go to the dot, you search the component on the mech, and it'll give you, a battery, one of the battery components, and some random stuff, maybe some ammunition, maybe a cheaper gun. And as I did all this, I made my way all the way around and started running into the Ecliptic guys. So I had to take those guys out too.
Oh, I didn't.
Um,
Oh, that's
yeah.
right. That's the finale of this. But okay, you keep.
So I ended up kind of skipping that, but I'm
Okay.
not going to. We'll wait. I'll let you tell that part. So then I got all the parts. I went straight to Kaiser, killed the heat leeches, talked to him. He said he needed a battery. I found a workshop close by, and I manufactured the battery myself. And then I went back and put the battery into Kaiser. So that's kind
So
of where
is there
both of us back together here,
is
right?
there another workshop aside from being in the one of a kind salvage
Yes, there's
business?
one outside in like a little building, a little
Okay.
outbuilding
Okay.
that you can go into, and it's got a couple of component, material components in there on the workbench, but then the workbench itself is there. And if you have
Okay.
all the stuff, it gives you the option to build the micro cell battery. But I think this is the only place and only time that you can build that thing.
Gotcha.
Because I was
Okay.
looking around trying to figure out, because I knew I was going to need one. And so
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'll just have it pre-built and in my inventory when I get there. And
Yeah.
I'll just buy that. But
Yeah.
the game wouldn't let me.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, of course, I always recommend for a new player, don't do the fast way. Don't pay your way through.
Right.
Just get the most out of the game.
Yeah, I
These
mean,
it's almost like these options here to, pay 1,000 to find out where he is, or pay buy a microcell for 10,000. It's kind of like for the players that have already played through the game. You don't
mhm.
want to make them do kind of on a repeated playthrough might be viewed as a slightly more tedious, element of the game.
It might be a bit grindy after the third or fourth time.
Yeah. So it's kind of
But if this is your first time to play through, you spent your money, ride the ride, ride the
Yeah.
whole ride.
Yeah.
You don't want to take a shortcut. You're
Yep.
missing out. It's like you never want to fast travel in Skyrim. You always want to walk.
Yeah. Huh? So then once you get Kaiser online, he's willing to go with you once you talk to him about the Terramorph issue and all that. But he's like, but first we got to go do this thing. And there's a Xeno weapon that you guys have to take care of. Now,
That was
unfortunately,
his mission
was the
was
Ecliptic.
to take out this final xenomorph that was left here from the colony wars.
Yeah, and it's a different type of alien. It's not like the Terramorph where this one's more like an oversized siren, right?
Right, it's like a
Yeah.
super siren.
Yeah, super. It's a super siren. So you now by the time I got to here, I was my health bar was already dented pretty bad from the with the yellow from the atmosphere. So ordinarily with this character being the stealthy assassin thief that she is, she would have told Lyria to hang out, wait for her. She would have told well because you can tell Kaiser, hey, hang out here or come with us. So usually I would have had I would have liked to have told him to wait and handle this, but with the damage I was taking, I didn't want to. But uh, after the fact, after I killed all the Ecliptic, let the monster out and killed it. I did go see where. Oh no, they let it out after you. When you start shooting, they let it out to take you out. But if you're sneaky, you can get in there to the computer console and let the thing out yourself, and it starts running amok. So there's two ways to handle this situation. It would have been neat to try. What's the third way?
If you take out the guy controlling the computer,
Mm-hmm.
you can keep the A99 Xeno weapon locked in the cage.
Oh.
So then you never have to deal with fighting it. You can
Now,
take
is
out.
there any benefit to that? Like, oh, now we get to turn this specimen over.
If 10, that thing's pretty badass.
Well, true. Yeah, if you're.
So that was one of my very first playthroughs. I kept him locked in the cage, and then had a hard time dealing with some of the Ecliptic, and I had to keep him away from the controls for the cage, and take them all out. And then I was able to just stand outside the cage and take the monster down without in fear of it killing me.
Yeah.
So at higher levels, it's not that big a deal. But when I was low level, the first time I went through here, that thing kept wiping me out.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, because at level 30, at level 36 or so that I am, mid 30s, it wasn't more of a bullet sponge, but it wasn't really wiping me out. It hit me a couple times. I think each hit probably takes about 25% of your health, so it's not like it instantly kills you once you're level over 30, but it's still a bit of a challenging fight. But I had Kaiser and Lyria with me, and so we were putting in the work. And Kaiser, man, it'd be great to have. Like, can he become a crew member for you later, or he's just part of the Red Devils thing? Yeah.
Yep. Well, because he becomes a lab computer.
Oh, true. Yeah, because he's basically, they put all their data in him, so he's like a server with guns, a mobile server with guns.
Yeah, a field server.
Yeah. So so this quest was a little more straightforward, but yeah, at that point you take out the ecliptic and kill. Oh well, yeah, because Kaiser, his mission is to kill this thing. So can you shoot it while it's in the cage?
Yes.
Or you have okay, so then you can just put it down without letting it out.
You can take the ecliptic guys out before they release it. And see, this was, like I said, the first time that I did this, I don't think I had a follower with me. And I had told Kaiser to stay up on the ridge.
Oh, no.
I was by myself trying to take out like 6 or 8 ecliptic before they released the weapon out of the cave. So it was brutal at low level. And that's when I came up with the plan. If I can just keep them from releasing him and keep him busy and keep him occupied and keep him away from the switch, then I won't have a problem with him.
So you
not
basically did every decision possible to make it as hard as possible on yourself.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So I found a way around it, though.
Yeah.
It worked out the first time. This time this is where you and I separated on this one, because when I was running around collecting all the goodies, I ended up aggroing the little base that's on the other side of the ridge, and those ecliptic guys kept funneling over to me. And so I kited them away, and I would take a couple of them out, and I would go to try to find some more of them. Like, they're coming from over there. I didn't realize I had gotten that close to their little base, their hidden base.
Okay.
And so as I'm taking them out and I come over a ridge, well, then there's the A99 weapon comes up over the ridge after me, and I'm like, killed him.
Oh, so you had already killed
I don't think I had the Kaiser yet when I killed it.
Okay. When you talk to him,
Kaiser's like, I'm on the mission. I've got to go kill the Xeno weapon. And I'm like, by the way, I already handled that. Let's go to Hadrian. Okay, I'll meet you at the ship. So I bypassed all that.
Interesting. Now, so I wonder then if you end up killing all of the ecliptic, but the weapon's still in the cage. When you talk to him about killing it and you go there, do the ecliptic all respawn, or maybe because you already killed him?
I would bet not.
Yeah.
Not
there's a limited guy. Once you kill it, once they're all dead, they don't respawn.
Yeah. And there's one of them that's like a major, like he's got like 4 red bars under his health bar.
Yeah.
He's a hard dude to kill.
Yep.
Especially low level. It was really hard to kill.
A little firefight there.
Yep.
So at this point, this is, I think, when they officially reestablished the Red Devils headquarters on Mars. And what's annoying is every time you try to travel back there, it always wants you to go through the cave that you initially go into to navigate through to it, to the cave and the mines and all that. So even though your quest marker is on the cave entrance, if you had left through the elevator to the surface, there's a landing pad at the HQ. You can travel straight to that. Your ship will land on that landing pad, and you can go into the elevator and go down right into the HQ without having to run through the whole cave system again. And I don't think you have to come back here. Well, I mean, I think you come back here a couple times throughout the rest of this quest line, but after that, I don't even know if there's a vendor or any reason to technically ever come back here.
There is.
Oh, there is?
Yes. There is. What are they? Radiant Quest.
Oh, it's okay. It's a Radiant quest line. Okay, we'll get into
So there's
that
a
once
Radiant
we
quest
finish.
line. You go down in here and talk to a guy, and he sends you on Radiant quests from here. We'll get to that later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think there's like 3 Radiant quest types that you
Yeah.
end up getting once you finish the main quest here. So
Yep.
cool.
I know of 2. You'll have to tell me the third one,
Yeah.
but we can do that later. We'll
Yep.
work through it because I hate to get out of line and then we get confused. Did we talk about that already? We'll wait till
Yeah.
we get to that. We'll talk about it.
Some things it's worth talking about a couple times, the more important things. But
Yeah.
alrighty,
Oh, the-
well, let's go ahead and
Mhm.
wrap this episode up. This was another long one, getting through those. But all 3 of these quests are a lot of fun. They're different. Yeah, that's the one thing I like about the United Colonies quest line. Every single quest they have is fun, and they're all kind of different in their own dynamic way.
Mhm.
I think that's why people generally say this quest line is the best one, because there's nothing really
for
that bogs down. What?
replayability. For
Mhm.
replayability, there are different options you can take at each leg of the UC Vanguard quest line that makes it a little bit different to play every time. So if you're aware of that, then you can pick the slow way on one portion and then just do the quick way on the next portion and
Yeah.
that way you have variety. Every time you play through, you're getting new content.
Exactly. Yeah, like the friends like these quests. When you go to talk to the Freestar ambassador, you can just, if you're replaying it, especially because you've assumed to maybe that you're on a new universe, you can you should be higher level. Your diplomacy skills probably higher at this point. You can just sweet talk her into helping you and persuade her. You know.
What's the name of that drug? It's hypolatia,
Yeah,
hypolania,
Hypoleta gives you increases your ability to persuade.
Yeah,
There's a couple.
so that's what you use.
That's one of the higher ones. There is one called Paramore, where it does that, and your affinity from your companions increases. So if you're
Right.
ever going into a situation where you know you're going to be persuading or talking to people, and you've got your companion with you, in particular, one of the constellation ones where your affinity with them has to increase to advance the dialogue and get to their personal quest. Always drink that Paramore drink and to help you with
Mhm.
that. So, yep. But all right. Well, we're gonna go and wrap things up there. Good times talking through this one, and I think then 2 weeks from now, so that'll be the let's see, today's the 7th, so that'll be the 21st. We'll wrap up the Vanguard quest line. It's gonna set us up for heading into April when PlayStation gets Starfield and get some new players. Hopefully, some new audience members here.
Yep, maybe
And,
some new content.
Yep.
We can hope.
Yeah, new content. That'd be fun. And I think after we do the Vanguard quest line here, I was talking to the angry mechanic, and so after we finish the Vanguard quest line, we're gonna we're not gonna do the Lazarus mod right
Okay.
after. We'll push that one back, because what I want to do is hop right into the Crimson Fleet, because it's a natural thing, because you get introduced to it anyways in the Vanguard quest line. So we'll go straight into the Crimson Fleet quest line. So then that way in the finale episode of the Crimson Fleet, the angry mechanic will join us on that one, because then we can talk about his mod, because that's
Great.
yeah, that'll be a lot of fun to have him join us. So
Yeah.
cool deal. All right, well,
In the Discord.
what's that?
I've talked to the angry mechanic quite a bit in the Discord. He's
Yeah.
a fun guy.
Yeah, because he's in the Dark Star Discord too, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Sweet. All right, well, good times. We're gonna wrap this up. It's my little Rugrat Munchkin is up, and she's hungry, I think. Are you hungry? Want some food? Want breakfast? Cereal? Oh, yeah, her eyes got big when I said cereal. So, alrighty, guys. Well, take care. Any last words, Jax?
Drive fast. Take lots of chances.
All right. Well, we will see you in the Starfield.
Now that was some fine work under pressure.
Get out of here, Dusty. You're on to bigger things.